real life romance video. Barb and Dawn, and their love story is in real life romance. So, hi guys. The first one that I'm going to ask is, how did you guys meet?
Well, I was working in an ER.
I'd like to know if he knows.
Okay. You want to tell it?
Well,
Oh, here goes.
I was working.
I was working in the ER in Huntington Beach. It was a beachside hospital, so we were really busy.
And I was a police officer for Huntington Beach Police Department.
So you were really busy.
You know, we were really busy.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was so busy that they used to be in and out all the time for coffee and soda and sandwiches.
What, you'd shoot him and
stuff.
she'd patch him?
That's kind of the way it worked.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering.
And go ahead, you tell them.
So anyway, we used to go in there because they had coffee and sandwiches and drinks and stuff that we could, because they didn't have any security, so we were kind of their security because there were some strange people in there.
So he'd bribe you to be there.
And there were cute nurses.
There was one really cute nurse,
Uh-huh.
and I used to come in and I would sit in a wheelchair, and I would wear my sunglasses, which were the
The
ones
police ones.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't see through.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to sit there and I would watch this certain nurse,
Uh-huh.
except she never knew I was watching her because of the glasses.
Mm.
Well,
Yes.
I did because my friends told me, that the people that I worked with, they said, that guy's sitting over there just looking at you.
Creepy.
He never spoke. He never said anything to me. He just
Yeah.
sat and looked.
Strong silent type.
Kind of, yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway, the reason I watched her is because she was one of these you're kind of drawn to, because she was always kind. It didn't matter who came in there, whether they were good, bad, indifferent, ugly. Yeah, she always treated them with kindness, which was kind of I was drawn to. I guess, you know, one of the funny parts of it was my pickup line, because I never spoke to her.
Finally,
Yeah.
when he spoke to
Yeah.
me.
Yes, because she was making, doing hospital corners, making up all the beds after they got rid of stuff, and I asked her, I said, would you like to come make my bed?
Oh!
Ooh.
And did I respond?
What'd you say?
Nothing.
She ignored you.
She ignored me.
The one time
Wow.
she does not respond in kindness.
I gotta try a different approach, I'm thinking.
Probably not the smartest pickup line anybody ever used.
How long did you work on that?
Oh, man.
He got a little better as time went on.
How many lines did he have to use?
A lot.
Mhm.
I had, but I had gone through a divorce, and I wasn't ready to be picked up
Mhm.
by anybody or anything.
And you had
Especially a
two
cop.
daughters.
I had two daughters.
Two daughters, okay. And
Right.
how old were they?
Doreen was 7 and 8 at that point, and Colleen was 6.
Okay, so when did you actually ask her out on a date, or actually would you say you officially went on a date?
It was probably...
Have you yet dated?
No.
It was several months. Went to dinner somewhere. We used to...
Where? Oh, come on, where?
Well, I don't even remember which one we went to, but every Friday night, this became our ritual. Friday nights were our date night, and we would pick a different restaurant to go to every Friday night.
Because we lived in Huntington Beach, and Newport Beach is there, and there's all kinds of
Yeah.
restaurants.
That's fun.
You know,
And
so that was we did that until we moved away from Huntington Beach.
Wow.
Was he cheap or?
No.
Took you some pricey
no,
places?
No, never to McDonald's. Right before we went on the date, I was getting in my car to go home one night after work, and he showed up in his baseball outfit, and he was knocking on my window, so I rolled the window down.
Creeper again.
And,
Yeah. Baseball
and
outfit.
he said, do you want to go get something, some coffee or something to drink? And I said, no, I've got the girls at home, I have to get home. And then he leaned in and very tenderly kissed me. Just barely touched my lips, but it kind of set my heart kind of.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, were you
Oh.
nervous to do that, or you had it all planned?
So no, it wasn't. Like I said, I'm an off-the-cuff type guy. Things come to me and I try them. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
My concern was my daughters, and how they were going to accept that. It was just a matter of getting him to be around kids. He didn't have any kids,
Yeah.
and to see how they would accept him, and It worked out okay. He was serious right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably
I was.
serious probably a few times after we were dating because she had the qualities that, I was really looking for.
Right.
Mainly she could put up with me, which is a very tough thing to do. And so
We know.
we got pretty serious, fairly quickly. And then we dated for, had we been together about 5 months when I asked you to marry me?
Yeah.
Somewhere pretty close to that.
Okay.
And what did you say when you asked me?
Yes, I was going to ask. How'd that go down?
You can go ahead with that.
One of the first things he said, which just kind of blew me away a bit, but he said, "Would you be willing to have my child?" And I think I took a deep breath and I said, "Yeah, I would."
Awesome.
So once I had gotten past that point,
Yeah.
where I thought, well, sure, if I married him, I was going to
Sure.
wanted
Okay.
another child.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
I said yes. He wanted to get married in your diving.
Oh yeah, I wanted to get
diving.
married in a
Scuba outfit?
in full
Well,
scuba gear underneath the water.
Really?
Scuba
Yeah.
Steve.
That'd be fun.
That's what I thought, but
I said no.
she said no.
No.
Okay, you just
Stick
know.
to your guns.
Yeah, just,
Stick to your guns.
no, we're not doing that.
That's
Okay,
not gonna happen.
okay.
And then
Hey.
he thought about jeans, and I said,
No.
no, we're not doing that either.
Jeans and flip flops. I thought
Yeah.
that was a good alternative.
This was back in the when? It was when the 60s, right?
This was in the 70s.
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah. We,
60s have been good to you though, weren't
Yeah.
they?
Well, but
married
they lived on the
in
beach,
70,
so
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
beach
sure.
living.
Huntington
we were
Beach.
married in 76.
Okay.
In October of 76.
So then you get married, the girls welcomed him, you become,
Yeah.
you had to,
Sometimes.
Sometimes I was pretty
He was
strict with the
Mhm.
girls,
Mhm.
but I loved them, and we gave them everything. But it was interesting.
right,
That
which,
was-
and the cool thing is, you guys understand even blended families and minister to blended families now, helping them adjust to those very issues when
Oh,
they get
yeah.
married. Like, I can't have the same conversations you guys can have as ministering, because you get it, you lived it.
right.
Even understanding
It
what
was- it was
strain it can
struggles.
put on a marriage or the kid. So that's a good thing. So the next question then is, how has faith played a part in your relationship with each other, in your family, in your marriage?
Oh, I couldn't have done it without God. And I don't think he could have either, but I thought that Don was saved when I married him, because he thought he was, I think, at that point, and his mother kept saying yes, he was.
Mhm.
I wonder if their mom says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta be so.
Mhm. Mom didn't lie.
But he just didn't, afterward, it was getting to be more and more difficult, and I was seeing him pull away a lot. And but I just kept praying, and I said, Lord, please give me a love for him that only you can give me. And he did, because if we hadn't had that, I don't think we would still be together.
Right.
I know we would.
Which is awesome advice. I meet women all the time that don't feel like they're still in love with their husband or can't find the love, but it's God's supernatural,
Absolutely.
selfless love, right?
Yeah, because even my sisters and friends would say, Barbara, just leave. Yeah, I said, no, God's
He's
not
right
told me I
here.
can't.
He's in the room.
He knows this. I've
Oh
told
yeah,
him.
we've talked about this before.
So then, real quick, let's talk about what was the catalyst that brought you to come to Christ.
Well, one of the things that, and we didn't realize it now, in fact, that it's only been a few years. I had just come back from my second tour overseas, and only been a police officer for about a year and a half. I was really suffering from PTSD and didn't know it because nobody knew what PTSD
Yeah,
was
yeah.
at that,
Right.
back
Sure.
then.
Yeah.
And I didn't trust anybody. And so because of that, whenever anything would happen, I would just pull away into myself.
Mm.
And I was working the graveyard shift, and Doreen, our oldest daughter, had gone to take her sister a hamburger because her Colleen was babysitting, and on her way back, she was in an automobile accident and was killed. Well, I received a call, and Barbara didn't tell me that she had passed away. She just said that to get to the hospital.
Mm.
But it was too late by the time I'd gotten there.
Mm.
And truthfully, at that point, I walked the parking lot of Memorial Hospital for probably an hour and a half, cursing God
Yeah.
for taking away my daughter. I back up. At the funeral, or at our house, after the funeral, we were sitting there and people were talking about Doreen and how everybody was going to see her again. And in my heart I said, no, I'm not going to see her again because I don't know Christ.
Wow.
You know, I knew how to play the part. I was brought up in the church. I knew what to say, when to say it, how to say it, but in my heart I knew it wasn't true. And for the next 6 months it was a real struggle. I ended up going back to church, and I was sitting in the balcony one night, and it's been about 6 months later, and I knew that I hadn't accepted Christ, so I went forward and did it that night.
So from your previous life experiences that you've had and where you're at now, how do you feel like that helps you even in the ministry that you have? You were a pastor, you come alongside of Steve's ministry, and I mean, we send couples to you guys. Like, what do you feel like is your strengths in that as a couple?
Go ahead, you're on a roll.
Well, I think our strength in it is that we, having been there, we can talk to others and let them know that it's not going to be an easy road. But I think the biggest thing is, you know, just the ability to be able to come alongside people and understand where they are is, I think, has been the biggest part of my ministry. And I think the biggest, is not like Barb would tell most of it, but Barbara's this person that can go sit down in an airport and somebody will come up and pour their heart out to them. Never seen them before in their lives, but it happens all the time. You know, I don't know what it is. They get away from me. I do understand that, but
Might be the folded arms.
it could be. That's probably it. But you know, that's one of the things that she has always, that kindness that I saw when we first met,
Still there.
is, you know, it just kind of like it exudes from her.
But I really believe that what does it and what makes it easier to do it is because I know that there's nothing that God can't do.
Right.
And it's our responsibility to give him that
Yes.
ability, or that, you know, to use us and to make ourselves available. And going back to even before Doreen passed away, that was a place I had to come to, because I always used to say, Lord, I want to be used. I want to use, please use me. And he said, I heard him so loud and clear. I know people think that's crazy, but I did. He says, Barbara, you know why I'm not using you. And I was sitting there in church crying and crying and crying. And finally I said, okay, Lord, whatever it takes. Because I knew I was going to lose Doreen. I had those dreams for years.
Which we talked about that in Real Life Romance.
And so I learned that God can do anything. He can he brings you through that. And he brought Doreen back from using drugs and alcohol.
And she had come back to Christ.
She had come back to the, yeah, she did. I was sitting in the balcony and looking down, and she was walking forward to rededicate her life to the Lord. And I know that I've learned that, you know, you always fear about losing your children and things like that. And I learned that God is such a gentleman. He prepares you, and I know he'd been preparing me for years, but he also was preparing her.
Yeah.
And he was preparing Dawn because he knew Dawn needed to come to know him.
Yeah.
And
Used it.
yeah, he did. So it's when you can just share with other people that you know firsthand that no matter what, even death, can't destroy you.
I hope.
That's
There's
such a
lot of hope.
testimony. Okay, let's lighten this up. What's your song? Do you have a song?
Yes.
What is it?
Only God could love you more.
Oh. So
Not
spiritual.
groovy kind of love, or
And the only that when I got the questions, I thought about. I think we were doing a Valentine's dinner at church, and he and I did it. They asked us to do a duet, and we did, and that was the song we picked.
Oh, that's
that
cool.
Only God could love you more.
Good. Well, thank you. I know you don't love doing this, but you guys did a great job.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing your story in Real Life